Have you listened to the new Logic album at all?
A little bit. Not nearly to the point where I've listened to Wayne's Carter 5.
Okay.
Obviously, I care more about Wayne's album. I looked into a little bit of Logic's album. Obviously, his singles that he released, but
Yeah, so Logic's album is called Young Sinatra 4, or as he has it labeled, it's YSIV.
YSIV.
YSIV. And the album cover is him trying to like recreate the old Frank Sinatra. What do you call it when you go to prison and get your picture taken?
Mugshot.
Yeah, his mugshot. I don't know. I think it's fine. I've seen some fan art that people have made like for a cover that was way better than his decision on this.
I mean, he is no Frank Sinatra, so of course it's not fine. You know, he is not part of the Rat Pack. He's not good to be. He's not good enough to be part of the Rat Pack.
Yeah, he's a rapper, and rappers typically, I wouldn't say
don't sing blues, and he doesn't.
Well, that's not even what I was gonna say. I was gonna say rappers. Many of them have been to jail. Like, for example, Lil Wayne that we just talked about. It's not like it's a crazy shock to see it. And that's why the Frank Sinatra pictures or the mugshots were so interesting, is because he's the last person that you expect to see it in a mugshot.
I don't necessarily know how I feel about like his whole alter ego of like the whole Frank Sinatra thing, but like he's a good rapper, but stick without calling yourself somebody else. So what's your favorite song on the album on this one? I mean, I haven't listened to the whole album. Though from what I have heard, I'd say 100 Miles and Running is probably the best song on the album. I also think, you know, obviously Everybody Dies is trending, and that's like a big one because it was a single. But
That
I
was a
feel
single.
like,
I think The Return was also a single, if I recall.
yeah, it was. But I just feel like the two best songs on the album are Wu-Tang Forever because it has so many different artists on it, and 100 Miles and Running because it just bangs. And I think I'd put money on it right now that eventually 100 Miles and Running becomes one of the top songs on the charts. He's so fast at rapping.
He's very fast at rapping.
It's just Wale, John Lindell, everybody in that whole song, the beat's great. Everything works together.
It's an old school style beat. It just sounds fantastic with him on it. Wale does a great job. The Wu-Tang song is 8 minutes long, and it includes everybody on it. But me personally, and I don't know if many people would agree with me on this, I'm not a big Wu-Tang fan. So to me, this song is a little bit...
That's a very unpopular opinion.
I know it is, but this song to me just gets kind of dry. It gets kind of stale. And when it goes to 8 minutes, I'm like, oh, man, why did you have that whole
there
thing
would be
on there?
there would be a radio edit version of that if it ever got big.
Yeah.
It would only end up being about 3 minutes, the radio edit. And not everybody would be in the song.
But the reviews I've seen of it, people seem to love it. So
I mean, because it's an unpopular opinion that you don't like Wu-Tang. So, like...
I just don't know Wu-Tang.
I would say that this song is probably the game changer on the album. I don't think it's ever going to go streaming on the radio, but I feel like it's easily one of the best songs on the album. I also, like I said, 100 Miles and Running is obviously the best song on the album. Another single from this album was One Day with Ryan Tedder. I forgot to say that.
Yeah, that's the one that he performed
I like that
at the
song.
VMAs.
I know a lot of old school Logic fans don't. I personally like that song. I like Ryan Tedder's voice too. He should be the Young Sinatra.
And then one other thing to note on this is the very first song is called Thank You. And it's kind of interesting because he sent out a tweet earlier in the month saying something like, here's a number to call, leave a voicemail, and I'll put it in my song on my album. And so when you listen to this song, it goes through all these voicemails of fans calling in saying like, "Thank you, you're great," yada yada yada, and then he comes back and thanks them, says, "Thank you for being my fans."
That's very interesting. Very interesting. I kind of like that. Like we just said, everybody's putting phone conversations in their albums now. It must be the thing to do.
Yeah, Logic did it on his last one, Bobby Tarantino too, with the Elton John phone call.
Oh, you're right. You're totally right. And that was a diss towards somebody, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a diss towards Joyner Lucas.
Yeah, who was also in like the #1 song of the year so
with
far.
With Eminem, I know.
Lucky
it's
you.
Crazy.
So it's everything goes full circle. Look at this. He's also in a song with Haley Steinfeld. I have not listened to it yet. It's called Ordinary Day. I love Haley Steinfeld, so I'm kind of looking forward to it.
I listened to it, but I don't remember a lot of this album because
you were concentrating on the Carter 5?
I was so focused on the Carter 5. I was way too excited.
See, my whole thing is Haley Steinfeld's the girl from
Seinfeld?
17. Yeah, Seinfeld, 17, Life of 17 or something like that. You went and saw that movie.
Yeah, that's the girl that does the...
that's the girl that sings in this
What's
one.
that song that she does
sings,
that's really popular?
Starving.
Starving till I tasted you.
And then the other one she does is with Florida Georgia Line. Oh, man. Let Me Go, I think, right?
I don't know a song by them called Let Me Go.
Yeah. All right, come on.
What was that movie called again?
I don't know.
Was it like Edge of 17 or was that something else?
Maybe that is it.
Was that something else?
Edge of 17?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So she was in that. She sings those two songs. You know that song.
Oh, yeah, I totally know that song. Yeah,
I mean, I played the heck out of that song last year. I'd say that actually may be one of my favorite songs released this year. So that's why I'm so excited that she's in a song with Logic.
She looks so different on this Spotify background than she does in that movie. Dang, that's interesting.
She looks good, yes. So yeah,